Welcome everyone to Bonifabcustom. Today I'm going to be showing you how I stretch a Ducati swing arm. Now this one's off of a newer Street Fighter and it's getting stretched 6 inches. It's my longest stretch on a Ducati swing arm so far. Now how are we going to do this? Well, the first thing I had to do on this swing arm is get it stripped, and this time I decided to get it chemical stripped. A local place did this for me, and they put it in a chemical and got rid of all that powder coat inside and outside of the swing arm. Now this is critical when I'm trying to extend something a lot bigger. Usually when I do a 2-inch extension or even up to a 3 or 4 inch extension, I may not have to strip the whole swing arm because I'm not really going that far into the swing arm with the bracing. But because of this is a 6-inch extension, I really need to weld bracing a lot further into the swing arm on both sides. So I want to just make sure I get a good clean weld, and that's why I chemical stripped it. Now the next thing I want to do on this is I want to make sure I have an accurate measurement of the offset. Because I'm going to be cutting it right through here, I want to make sure that the offset, the distance between the pivot and where the axle goes, that offset is correct, and it stays correct as I start measuring or as I start cutting, welding this swing arm together. Now how am I going to do that? So I'm going to use my fixture table here, and I'm going to mount one side to it, and I'm going to take a measurement, an accurate measurement of that offset. Let's do that. Now I'm going to mount the back of my swing arm onto my fixture table with some clamps. And I'm going to get some 1, 2, 3 blocks, and these are accurate within 2/10, 2-inch, 3-inch, and 1-inch. And we're going to stack 2 of those together. And you can see now they slide underneath the swing arm here, both sides. That means that it's a measurement higher than 6 inches. So I'm going to get my gauge blocks now, a more accurate measurement, and add it to the 6 inches. So I'm going to try out, say, 110 thou. I'm going to slide underneath, and it does slide under. Try 115 thou, and it does slide under, very little movement. About 117 thou, slides under. Let's try 119. So 119 is rubbing. And about the same on the other side. So now I know that the distance from the outside of that right-hand side pivot point to the outside or right-hand side of the swing arm, the bottom face here, is 6 inches, 119 thou. So I want to keep that measurement the same as I start extending this swing arm. I might even put this on a fixture, set that dimension, and then I can go to work with creating that bracing and start welding. I'm going to take it off this fixture because I want to mark down a line where I'm going to make my cut, or that's where I'm going to have my extension go. I'm going to take off this clamp. So I'm going to lay it down on the table because this is how I'm going to saw it on the bandsaw. And basically I want to cut a line or put a line somewhere in the middle of this straight section. It's going to be a lot easier to extend it, keeping that straight section somewhat straight still as I extend it to 6 inches. And again, I want to keep the distance from here to here, this offset, always the same and parallel to each other, those two planes. So let's draw a line. Just going to get my square. So I have the line drawn just before this little window, and I have that all the way around, and I'm going to take this, put it on the bandsaw, and cut it right through. Okay, so now I have the swing arm cut. Looks pretty good. And you can see the webbing inside there. And on this side. So right now it's fixtured onto the table at the right height, okay, to make this part here exactly what it was before. I also put a straight edge on the bottom to make sure that lines up properly. Now the top won't line up perfectly because we have that big gap in between. This had an angle coming down, and now it's not going to really match up perfectly with this because it has this 6-inch distance between the two now. So that being said, I need to reinforce from the inside, somewhere as far as I can inside here, all the way to the other side with some aluminum bar. And I'm going to do that on this surface, this surface, this surface, and the bottom surface. And if I can, I will try and do this rib here also connected to the other side as far as I can. Now, to do that, I need to weld it from the outside because I can't get in the inside to weld. I need to do it out here. So because of that, I need to drill some holes here so I can get a good weld or a good bead around the inside reinforcement that's connecting the two together. So what I'm going to do now is I'll get my hole saw out and I'll make a bunch of holes all along here, all along the other side here, and then I'll start fitting in my aluminum bar. Okay, so now I cut out 3 of these pieces here that are about, I think these ones are 3/8 thick, 60/61. And basically, you can see the number on them. And they fit inside here. Now, I'm gonna have to, actually this one goes here. Now I'm gonna have to bend these a little bit so it sits flush. And then when I plug weld them, they're gonna sit in there really nice. I have one here, one that goes up here, and one up here for this part. Now, as I go to tack them in, before that, I actually cut another piece that's this one's 3/16 thick 6061 plate. And I'm gonna put this one on the back. And I'm gonna tack weld it there. And this is gonna help hold it together so it doesn't want to bend while I'm tacking and putting this together when I start putting a lot of heat onto it. And I'll put this one on here so I can fully weld the back of it. Now I'm gonna clean these up, put some chamfers on them. I'll fully weld the back of this because I'm not gonna be able to do it when I have these other two pieces on top and this piece here. Now, once I have that welded, it's all up to temperature. I put my pieces in, it gets fully welded. These pieces here get fully welded, plug welded and welded on the inside, and then I'll brace them to each other so they're one complete unit. And after that, when it's welded, I'll flip it around, drill holes on the opposite side, and fit in some more of the bar going across, plug weld the back, and then start connecting this with some flat plate all along the outside. And then I can sand it and get it all ready for powder coat. So after a little bit of grinding, the arm looks pretty good. And you'll notice that I only ground the front half where you're gonna really see the swing arm. The back, I left the welds on to give that added strength. Really, that material I put on the front to cover up the main structure inside I put is really just for looks. I mean, there is some strength to it because I welded it, but it's really more for the look of the arm. Now, I'm gonna get this out for black powder coat, and we'll take a look at how it looks after we get it back from powder coat.
1 week later.
So we got the swing arm back from powder coat. It turned out awesome. I wanted to thank Jeff and Jen from Total Coatings in Hamilton for the help with this powder coating on the swing arm. It turned out really nice. If you are interested in getting your swing arm extended like this, reach out to me at bonifabcustom@gmail.com and I can price that out for you. Don't forget to subscribe, push that button for notifications for more fab videos coming up. Thanks.